I want to keep this music forever. Can we do that? Can we make that a thing?
I like it.
I do too.
I think
I'm really into it.
This is my favorite version.
I agree. We're going to keep this music as long as I can convince the guys that we can keep this music. Welcome in, everybody.
Maybe we can change the post game from the sexy sax to the sexy salsa.
I mean, that might be a tall task to ask for, because we had to bring the sexy sax back because everybody was missing it. So I don't know. That's a tough one. Y'all let us know. What do you think? A little salsa, a little sax? Which one you feeling? Should we mix it up so you don't know which one you're going to get each night? Let us know.
It is a vibe.
It is.
It is a vibe.
But we got game 4 on our hands. Speaking of vibes, let's do a temperature check. So how are you feeling ahead of today's game?
I'm feeling good. I'm a little. We're gonna get into DA, and I feel like that's what I've really been thinking a lot about the last couple of days. So before I feel like as a team, the Suns are in a good position. Mm-hmm. Tonight is going to really go a long way in kind of calming everybody down in terms of the DA factor. But I think the Suns started to find something against the Nuggets. I know it looks on paper that that Booker had 47 and Kevin Durant had 39, and that's, like, I know a lot of Denver fans are like, that's the only reason why they won. Can they do that again? Maybe not. But the way Booker's playing is so efficient.
Out of his mind.
All you need is Kevin Durant to just step up a little bit in terms of his efficiency. And I mean, this goes from a 5 or 6 or 7 point game to possibly 20. So, listen, these teams are so close that there's a lot of things that if this happens, this could happen. This happens, this can happen. There's a lot of variability right here because they're so evenly matched. And that's why it's a good series.
I'm feeling better today than I was on Friday. Surprisingly enough, because even going into Friday's game, I had full faith that we would win game 3, but overall I wasn't feeling too hot. And now ahead of this game, I'm feeling a little bit better. I do think the Suns kind of, I don't know, something maybe clicked last game on what exactly it takes to beat this Nuggets team. Yeah. And I think that moving forward, they'll be able to tap into that and hopefully lift each other up to reach that level as well. So here's the thing. Colt23 said, do we really have to talk about Ayton again? Yes, but we're going to talk about it through the lens of Jock Landale, because yesterday at practice, he had some he
was spicy about it.
It was spicy, Jock, but it was good. It was really good. I liked what he had to say. So this is a little bit of a longer clip than what we normally play, but I think it's worth it.
Look, it's tough for me to sit back and just be okay with all the slander that's thrown DA's way. People are making him out to be like he's a selfish individual who is playing terribly all the time and hurts the Phoenix Suns, but it's Deandre Ayton. Like DA's had 30 and 20 games on the regular for a month at a time for us this season. He's held down some big time areas of games for us throughout the year, and I'm kind of sick of hearing about everyone, shitting on him nonstop. It's not. I know it comes with the business, and I know that that's your guys' job, and it's other people's right to, say what they want to say. But DA's been fucking great for us, and for him to do that for me when he could have very easily been pissy and pissed and moan about, I've come out of the game with 7 minutes to go. Like, who said anything about that? Who said anything about DA coming up to me and being like, you know what, like, I'm going to take myself out of my own situation here and really reinforce what Yoke's tendencies are and all, encourage me a lot more, because, we're in a man's league, and a lot of the time the encouragement is left out of this thing. So DA's a great teammate. He's a great locker room guy, and I hear time and time again about how this guy doesn't do that, and it's just bullshit. Like, DA does that for Biz all the time. If you watch when me and Bizzy are in the game and we do something well, DA is the first dude off that bench to stand up and clap, and that speaks volume about his character. But people seem to just totally forget about that. So, that's been something that DA stood on the whole year, and he's continued to do that for other players around him, especially myself and Biz, is encourage us in times where he's maybe not having the best night, and he's allowed to not have a great night. We're basketball players, and we're playing against a 2-time MVP right now. Like, it's tough. It's not a fucking easy feat. So, Yeah, I thought that last night is just DA being DA, and I think he's a great locker room guy, and I know a lot more about that than a lot of people do. So yeah, that's no surprise for me.
Jock's the best.
He is.
I love Jock as a teammate, and clearly we should all love DA as a teammate as well.
Well, and that's the problem, and this is the discourse that happened not only Friday night but also Saturday. I just felt like people were really, really going out of their way to try and make it DA not only playing bad, but also just an awful person. Like, they were going way out of their way to try and to fit that narrative, because I think a lot of people have problems shitting on a guy and hearing that he's a good person behind the scenes. He's a good teammate. They want to believe that he's a shitty player and a shitty guy. Like, right. They want to associate both those. And the comments that I saw for the last 2 days were just like, holy crap. People cannot separate the two. Like, they just, I'm not going to say everybody. Obviously, it's not everybody, but there's a group of people that just cannot separate the fact that Jock said this and said he's a good person, he's a good dude, he's a great teammate. As long as I've ever been around DA, he's always been a phenomenal teammate. Yeah. When they lost 3 straight in the Bahamas at U of A, when they were like a top 3 ranked team and they came back home, like, he was still jovial, energized, like, and he needed to be to turn the season around because they were struggling. Like, along with this team, like, listen, there's some serious dudes on this team. And DA has always been credited with being a good teammate. People were talking about, look at him dismiss Chris Paul. I don't give a shit about that at all. You know how many times teammates have dismissed Chris Paul? It's happened so many times in his career.
It's not even just to Chris Paul. It's in general. How many times does it happen in real life? You get something frustrates you, or you're in an argument and you say, I just need to remove myself from the situation real quick and cool down.
Yeah.
I'm a little too heated to just like let it go right in the second, in that moment.
Yes.
It happens. But everything on DA right now, there's such a microscope on Deandre Ayton right now, and it's going beyond just the Suns fan base. It's becoming a national thing now because, of course, the clip that went out from him watching Jokic, then this clip of him not giving Chris Paul a high five. But what we don't see are the viral clips of what Jock just explained. DA coming over to him on the bench, giving him all the information he could give him about Jokic and his tendencies. Like, we don't see that. Those don't go viral because they're not clickbaity enough, right? They don't instigate enough for the social media part of the world.
Again, I understand that people are going to criticize DA's play. Hell, I criticized it the other night when I said, I'm kind of done. I think Jock maybe should get the start. Now, I was in the moment. I was a little bit in my feels.
See,
obviously,
people get in the moment and get in their feels, and we do things that in hindsight we're like, yeah, that was kind of not cool.
However, when Jock said what he said, I didn't double down on my own comment by saying, no, people are coming at DA because he's a lousy player and he's a lousy human being and he's dismissing his teammates and he's crying on the bench. He's not crying on the bench. Stop. He's frustrated. Just like a lot of players sometimes are frustrated on the bench. That's not unordinary. We got to stop like making DA this one exception to the rule as to how players can conduct themselves on the sideline. I'm glad he's pissed. At least that shows you that he cares.
Yeah.
If DA kept going to the sideline, didn't say shit, didn't do shit, just sat down like ho-hum, like, you guys would be torching him because he shows no emotion. He doesn't care. He doesn't really give a shit. None of his teammates would ever tell you that he doesn't care, because he does. None of his teammates would say that he's given up or he's quitting or he's showing loser-like mentality, because he's not. Like, those two things cannot be conflated as the same. Like, he's having a bad game. He was playing terribly the other night. Yes, that can be true. DA doing everything he possibly can off the court to try and rectify it can also be true.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like Shamet, Landry. How many times have we talked about Landry Shamet on this show? And have I ever once said Landry Shamet is a shitty teammate and a horrible human being? No, because I can separate those two. Like, he's not a good basketball player. Fine, that's where it ends. I don't know Landry Shamet. I'm not back behind the closed doors and seeing how he interacts with his teammates. From everything I've ever heard, Landry Shamet is a great teammate, and he's a good dude. I'm sure that's true. That doesn't mean that I think he's a shitty person because of how he's performing on the court. And those two things, when I keep hearing it over and over and over and over again, that rubs me the wrong way. I think it rubs a lot of Suns fans the wrong way. And I think there is something to be said where you got to support your team and you got to support this guy. He's going through it right now. And that's, hey, I hope he plays better tonight. And I can't even guarantee you if he will, but I'm not going to sit there and disparage him as a human being either, just because I don't like the way that he's playing basketball at the moment. And I think that's where sports gets all fucked up, and I don't like it.
Yeah, and to be clear, we're not saying like the people in this chat or the people listening to our show necessarily. It's just in general the discourse online about Deandre, and it could be from fair weather fans or other fan bases as well. But at the same time, it could be. The call could be coming from inside the house a lot of times.
And Ken, like, brother, trust me, I feel you with this quote when he says, DA does not play to his potential and it bums me out because I bear the F down. 1,000,000%. It bums me out so hard. Like, I get emotional about it because I do not like it. Like, I love that guy and I wish he would ball out, but he's not. And it sucks to watch him go through it day after day, hoping that you're going to see what you saw when he was in high school and in college come to fruition. It fucking sucks. But, when people are at their lowest, sometimes it's up to us to try and pick them up. His teammates are trying to pick him up. Why should we not also follow that example, right? Yeah. They know him. They love him. They fuck with him. They hang out with him. Like, we should do the same. And
just another reminder, I mean, you guys are people are going to do whatever they want to do, but please don't tag players on social media when you're saying something mean about them. That's just cold. That's not great. We do have a couple super chats, two from Devin. Devin, thank you so much, said big Jock energy, and then followed up and said the ideal teammate with a smiling single teardrop emoji. Thank you, Devin. Appreciate your super chats. I do really love what Jock said, and I do think that things like that could probably go a long way for a guy like DA who does wear his heart on his sleeve, right? Yeah. He does. Those type of things do affect him. And I anticipate that we'll be having a much better DA game tonight. He typically bounces back pretty well when he does have a really bad game, and that one was probably one of the worst ones that we've seen from him, specifically that third quarter. And then, of course, not being out there on the floor to close the game. That probably was kind of a slap in the face to DA and maybe woke him up a little bit for the way that he needs to come today, bring more effort and energy. And I think those are the two biggest things, and that's why it's really frustrating for Suns fans watching this game, is because, like some of the comments were saying, like, we know you've got the physical ability. It's just a matter of tapping into the heart and the emotion behind it. Yeah. And putting your energy out there and not letting yourself get down on yourself too.
Somebody made the point, I forgot who it was, but basically DA has been guilty of overthinking. Like he's just, sometimes he's wanting to do good. Like, for instance, like, I can't count on shit too many times where I've watched game tape and a ball will go up for a rebound and shit, I was just standing there flat-footed. I'm just watching. I don't even realize I'm doing it, right? Like, you look and you're like, oh yeah, I should probably go get that ball. And there it is still, right? And I think that's just, sometimes it's paralysis by analysis. And I think DA is kind of going through a little bit of that, which sounds funny to say in year 5. And maybe we're making excuses, but I mean, his teammates have kind of alluded to that fact too. Like, he's trying to do too much and think too much out there. Like, sometimes you just got a ball. And I think maybe that's one of the biggest differences between here and at U of A. Somebody said on Twitter, they said, at U of A, Sean Miller told him what he can do. Whereas at the Suns, maybe they're telling him what he cannot do. And that mindset alone, I mean, hey, maybe there's something to it. So we obviously can't confirm if that's true or not, but it's a theory.
Zach in the chat said, not just today, Lindsay, he's got to do it every game. You're absolutely right. I mean, I think that's the key. I think that is the key for the Suns winning a championship this year. You need DA and that center position to bring it every single night. Like, that's what's going to help set you apart from some of these other teams. And again, hopefully DA takes that task to heart and shows up big, not just tonight, but from here on out. It's the playoffs. It's time to see D playoff Deandre Ayton. Like, that's what we want to see.
Yeah.
And hopefully we will get that. We do have another super chat. This one's from Psycho Blue. Thank you for your $10 donation, Psycho Blue. It's from Basketball Cthulhu, so all that means you are up.
Basketball Cthulhu. Emerge victorious, or I shall summon a plague of ignorance, Kyrie, and malice, Dylan Brooks. In the name of the rising of the cursed sun, let us become solar.
Yeah, I hope we emerge victorious because I don't want those curses.
I feel good.
Not on my team.
I feel good about tonight's game, but I'll feel better once I see Kevin Durant hit some shots and DA be just active. Like, I think that's obviously, like, you got to take baby steps in getting to where you want to go. And I think if he's just active and he looks like he's being aggressive, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. What the hell? Then that'll work out.
Yeah, I would like to see KD have a more efficient game, because if KD has a more efficient game and we get what we've gotten from Book pretty much all playoffs long, like, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be real fun. But I hope the Suns get a W, tie it up 2-2, and then we got a series on our hands.
Yeah,
best of 3 moving forward.
Big time. Hey, listen, and all the pressure goes right back to the Nuggets to have to take care of home court advantage. I was talking to Eddie Johnson today, and he was just like, listen, man, if they can get game 4, hey, things get awfully tight around that Denver city. So, yeah, it would be pretty awesome.
It'd be a lot of fun. As far as starters go for tonight's game, Monty is rolling with the same group as he did on Friday night. So we'll see Book, we'll see KD, we'll see DA, Josh Okogie, and Cam Payne. So I think that's the right move. I don't think after one game you mix it up too much and you switch around your starters. I think you keep it the same and then adjust accordingly. Which, listen, I know we've given Monty a lot of crap over the playoffs and beyond, but I will say, as far as his adjustments went and the calls he made when it came to DA and Jock in the last game were great. Yeah. So flower to you, Monty, for recognizing that and then being willing to actually adjust on the fly with that.
For sure. Like, I know we've given Monty a hard time over the last couple of games, actually really the entire playoffs, but he played Warren. He got some subs in there that really paid off, and he made the difficult choice of pulling DA and putting back in Jock, and Jock played phenomenal. Again, one of the things that I always want to be wary of, and I love Jock. We all love Jock here. It's great. It's one thing to be the backup and get 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's a whole nother thing to start. Yeah. And it's a whole nother thing to actually be scouted against. And that changes. Listen, Nikola Jokic is a phenomenal basketball player. And if he finds out you have a tell, you're fucking roasted.
Yeah.
Like, and so I think Jock's role is perfect for this team, giving you 15 minutes, 20 minutes of just all out energy and force. That's what his role is. That's what we want. We saw what happened when Busy got into the starting lineup. We saw what happened when JaVale McGee a year ago got into the starting lineup. Not good things. They're better suited as role players coming off the bench. That's why they thrive. So I think DA steps his game up. Jock gives you those Jock minutes. And then you just, hey, ground and pound. Let's go. Yes. Put these dudes away.
All right, there's another comment. This one's from Kyle B in the chat. It said, KD also seems to overthink and puts extra pressure on himself. I hope he just lets the game come to him so he can get into his rhythm sooner. So that was actually something that he had addressed Friday after the game. He did admit that sometimes he feels like when it comes to the efficiency and like missing shots that he should naturally make as Kevin Durant, he said basically that he does kind of overthink it. He needs to just kind of get out of his head a little bit and just go with the flow. So that is something that he is also aware of and has addressed as of late. So hopefully we'll get a really good game out of KD and a really good game out of DA and a really good game out of Book and all the rest. And it'll be chef's kiss.
Funny enough too, like, and I don't want to say this to freak anybody out, but there's something about the Nuggets that make me feel like even if we did somehow lose this game and we were down 3-1, I'm still not a believer yet. And I still feel like we have a good chance of coming back.
I feel like you're testing fate with that, so I'm just gonna pass right on over.
Well,
I don't want to engage.
I'm not a believer in the Nuggets. That's all.
That's fine, but I'm getting I feel like we're getting real close to the line.
Because Jamal Murray was gassed last game. He was gassed.
Yes.
Oh, we'll see how you do this game, buddy.
We'll see. All right. What are we wearing tonight, Emma? What jerseys will we see out there on the court? The Statement Edition and the Association Edition. Okay. Suns are wearing the black jerseys again. Feel good about that. And then Denver's got the old-fashioned white jerseys. I don't hate those white jerseys for them, to be completely honest.
No, they're okay.
They're all right.
They're okay.
Saul, who you got tonight and by how much?
I have the Suns by 1. My huge.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Have you
I don't
picked
vary.
anything but one this whole playoff series?
No, I said I wasn't.
You're just going to go with one the whole
Yep,
time?
one either way, yeah.
Okay. All right. I have Suns by 2 and Gerald has Suns by 5. So Gerald has the most faith out of all of us. I looked at the line today. At one point in time, it was a -1.5 for the Suns. Is that still where it's at on our BetMGM applications? Okay, so the money line has been moving quite a bit, but it's a -1.5 for the Suns here. So I picked Suns by 2. I was thinking, I kind of am unsure if I want to put a few shekels down on this or not.
Oh my God.
I figure that I won't because I don't want to jinx it, but that's why I picked 2 because I do kind of think the Suns can do this.
Listen, DA let me down. He cost me $900 the other night. So I'm going to back off of actual betting tonight. I feel good about, I think Jokic is going to have a good game. I think Jamal Murray will have a decent game. I would say probably 25. The sleeper for the Nuggets, in my opinion, would be MPJ.
Yes,
I think
he's due.
I think he's on the verge because last game he played pretty well. I think he's on the verge of having a breakout game. But I also feel like on the Suns side, you're looking at 3 guys specifically: Deandre Ayton, Cam Payne, and Terrence Ross. I think those 3 guys could easily have a really good outing tonight. We saw TJ get his the other night. We saw Jock get his the other night. Cam Payne was serviceable, and he was really great at pushing the tempo.
Which was key for
but
them.
I think scoring-wise, I think you're going to probably see a little more from him. I'm excited to see this game. I've been waiting for this for 2 days because I just feel like this is going to be the closest game of the series, I think, tonight.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a must-win for Phoenix, and Denver probably is approaching it as a must-win for them as well because they don't want to tie up the series. They don't want the pressure to be back on them going back to Denver. So I could see how both sides would absolutely view this game as a must-win. In the chat, everyone seems to be feeling pretty good. Frank has Suns by 14. Charles has Suns by 4. Ken has Suns by 11. Ernesto has Suns by 7. Jay says Suns by 7 or more. I'll be back post-game to confirm. Everyone seems like they're feeling pretty good here. Feeling pretty good. Who do you think is going to score the first field goal?
I got DA. I think they're going to try and they're going to try and set the tone right off the bat. Okay. DA is going to win the tip. They're going to find him. Let's say he's going to take the ball to the hole and try to score.
Okay, I like that. And I also put $5 on that. It's a plus 600 on BetMGM right now. So if you want to get into the action, make sure you download the BetMGM app and sign up using that bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers that they have for you guys, depending on where you live. But for our Arizona listeners, you'll get up to $100 in bonus bets on your first wager with BetMGM. Again, just make sure that you use that bonus code PHNX, and you can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
And of course, we know we are going to at least a game 5 here in the series, and our watch parties out at the BetMGM Sportsbook at State Farm Stadium in Glendale are presented by our friends over at Neutral. Neutral Vodka Seltzer, they have arrived. They're made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Their light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. They've got flavors like watermelon, pineapple, mango, raspberry, and their brand new one, orange, that just hit the shelves, so be sure to get your hands on that. You can find them.
You glad we brought that up?
Hey-oh. Oh, you called me Espo. You're Espo. Find them at a local store near you by checking the show notes for details. And come on out and hang out with us on Tuesday for our watch party so we can all cheer and celebrate together. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be cheering and celebrating. That's what I'm going to go with. All right, Saul.
Hope so.
It's time to get it. I'm excited for game 4. This is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of nerves. Overall, like, final thoughts?
Again, I just think if they push the tempo, I feel like you might have found something there against the Nuggets. If you push the tempo, get these guys out, get them on the fast break, get them, get some easy buckets, some wide open shots. And I think that's just going to give everybody a lot more confidence continuing over from the other night. So I expect the Nuggets will counter in some kind of ways, but I'm excited to watch this game. I've been excited to watch this game.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Nice little 5 p.m. tip off. Listen, I do want to say real quick, we've got a lot of new faces in the chat.
We do.
And a lot of people we haven't seen before. Welcome. Happy to have you guys here. And we did get a question from one of them. Justice said, does this channel always stream during games or just playoffs? So if you are new to PHNX, again, welcome. We go live non-game days pretty much every day, Monday through Friday, at 3 p.m. And then on game days, we always have a pregame show 30 minutes before tip-off, and we do a post-game show like 10 minutes-ish right after the game wraps up. So that's kind of who we are.
We hear all the time.
You're more than welcome to join us all the time.
52 weeks a year.
Yes.
Let's go.
And absolutely be sure to come back after the game wraps up, because we'll be here with a post-game show to talk all about it. Thanks for joining us. Okay, bye.
Go Suns.
PHNX. Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control.